Okay, this is just a quick video. I thought it would be entertaining to just see what it's like to study just using Gemini Advanced because it's a new thing that's like the interactive model where you can talk to your phone and it talks back. And I just want to see how good it is because I have to prepare a short 1 minute summary on this French guy from the 1800s, and we're going to see how good Gemini is at it. Hello, hello. Tell me about Théophile Gautier.
I think you might be asking about two separate things. First, there's the singer Gautier, who's known for his hit song, Somebody That
No,
I
no,
Used
no,
to Know.
not
And
him.
second, there's the fashion.
I'm talking about he's an 1800s media critic. His name is like Théophile Gautier or something.
Okay, are you talking about the French literary critic and journalist Sainte-Beuve? He wrote a lot about 18th century French literature.
Nope,
and was
not
really
him.
Influential.
Not him. He's like a dance critic. Théophile Gautier.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you're talking about the French poet and critic, Théophile Gautier. He wrote a lot about dance and theater.
Yes,
So
that
sounds
guy.
right.
That
Was it
guy.
right?
Tell me about everything I need to know about his life.
Théophile Gautier had a really interesting life. He was born in 1811 in France. And from a young age, he showed a real talent for the arts. He started out wanting to be a painter, but eventually, he fell in love with writing, especially poetry. He was part of a whole literary scene in Paris, and wrote tons of poems, plays, and even some novels. He's really famous for helping to start a whole new style of writing, called Parnassianism. It was all about perfect form and beauty in poetry.
Wait, Parnassianism? What did you just say?
Are you asking about nationalism?
No, we're talking about Gautier, and he started a new style of writing called like Parnassianism or something. What was that?
You're getting a little mixed up. There's the singer Gautier, who's known for his music, and then there's the French writer Théophile Gautier, who focused on poetry and theater. It's Gautier who started a new style of writing called Parnassianism, which emphasized perfect form and beauty in poetry.
Okay, so from now on, I only want to talk about the French guy from the 1800s, okay?
Got it. We'll just focus on Théophile Gautier. What would you like to know about him?
Okay, so we've talked about his life a little bit. I want to specifically know about him and his relationship to dance, because that's what I need to know about.
Got it. So Gautier basically fell in love with dance. He saw it as this super pure art form, totally focused on the body and movement. He wrote tons of reviews and essays on dance, and he even wrote the libretto for the famous ballet Giselle. He was obsessed with the technical perfection of dancers, but also the way they could express emotion without words.
Okay, I need a little bit more specificity. Like, what point in his life did he start liking dance and like that kind of stuff?
Gautier was really into dance from a young age. He loved going to the ballet as a kid, and it totally inspired his artistic side. You could say his love of dance even influenced his writing, since he started focusing on describing movement and beauty in his poetry.
Okay. Wait, when was the first ballet created? Just wondering.
That's a great question. Ballet has a long and rich history. The very first ballets were created way back during the Italian Renaissance, sometime around the 1400s. Of course, they looked a lot different than the ballet we know today. They were more like fancy court dances with lots of rules and etiquette.
Okay, is there anything else you can tell me more about Gautier that would be interesting or something I should know?
Goyer was a pretty colorful character. He was friends with a lot of the famous artists and writers of his time, like Balzac, Hugo, and Delacroix. He even had a pet Egyptian mongoose, which was totally exotic back then. And guess what? He was one of the first people to really champion the idea of art for art's sake. He believed that art should be beautiful and perfect, and that it didn't have to have some deep, hidden meaning.
Okay, do you have any idea about his mentors?
That's a good question. Gautier didn't really have any formal mentors when it came to writing or the arts. He was definitely influenced by the Romantic poets, like Lord Byron and John Keats. Their focus on emotion and individual experience definitely shaped his own writing.
How about his philosophy? Like his philosophy in writing. What was his take? What did he go at?
Gautier's philosophy in writing was pretty unique. He was all about the idea of art for art's sake, meaning that art should be judged on its beauty and perfection, not on whether it had some deeper moral or political message. He wanted to create art that was pure and focused on the senses.
When did he die?
Théophile Gautier died on October 23rd, 1872. He'd been in poor health for a while, and it looks like he suffered from heart disease.
Wait, October what?
October 23rd, 1872.
And what day was he born specifically?
Théophile Gautier was born on August 31st, 1811.
Okay. And what did he do for work? Like, I know he was a writer and stuff, but was he like wealthy? Like, how did he afford to do that?
Gautier made his living mostly through his writing. He wrote a lot of poems, plays, and novels, and he also worked as a journalist and art critic. It wasn't always easy, and there were times when he probably didn't have a lot of money, but he was definitely well known and respected in his time, so he was able to make a living doing what he loved.
Anything else you could tell me about his relationship to dance?
Goya had a pretty unique relationship with dance. He was totally fascinated by it, but not in the way you might expect. He wasn't a dancer himself, but he saw dance as this super pure art form. He loved the way it combined music, movement, and visual beauty. He wrote tons of reviews and essays on dance, and he even wrote the libretto for the famous ballet Giselle. He was obsessed with the technical perfection of dancers, but also the way they could express emotion without words.
You said he wrote the libretto. What exactly is that?
The libretto is basically the script for a ballet, or opera. It includes the story, the characters, and all the words that are sung or spoken. So when Gautier wrote the libretto for Giselle, he came up with the storyline and all the things the characters say.
Okay, what is Giselle? Is it like a famous play or something?
Giselle is actually a pretty famous ballet, not a play. It's a classic, romantic ballet, and it's still performed all over the world. The story's kind of tragic and revolves around a young peasant girl named Giselle.
Makes sense.
Alright, so, I can help you find some ballet performances of Giselle in Boston or the surrounding area. Do you want me to do that?
I did not know you could do that, but no, I would not like that. Thank you, though.
So do you want to continue talking about Gautier or something else?
Do you have anything else about his background? Besides that, I'm pretty good. The thing about the Egyptian mongers is pretty funny. I appreciate that.
Goya had a pretty interesting life. He was born in France, and from a young age, he showed a real talent for the arts. He started out wanting to be a painter, but eventually, he fell in love with writing, especially poetry. He was part of a whole literary scene in Paris, and wrote tons of poems, plays, and even some novels.
Did he have any famous novels?
Yeah, Gautier wrote a few famous novels. One of the most well-known ones is called Mademoiselle de Maupin. It's about a young woman who disguises herself as a man. And it was kind of scandalous back in the day. Another one is Captain Fracasse, which is a more lighthearted adventure story.
Okay, I think that's it for me. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Anytime. Let me know if you need anything else in the future.
I don't know if any of that's true. I'm going to cross-check all that, but that is pretty cool.